Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chelsea if this is your first time here. So today I wanted to kind of start a new series on my channel called Mom Talk Monday. And as you can tell by the title, this is going to be my last 4 months postpartum. And I really just want to take the time to sit down during these videos and just kind of talk about what's going on in my life, what's relevant for me and my everyday with my children, the adjustments that we're having to make as our kids get older, the different stages that our kids are going through, and just really talk about a lot of the things that we don't really know are things that are going to affect us as mothers. And just kind of take, one step at a time, day by day, but for these Mom Talk Monday videos to kind of just be able to share with you guys what I'm going through as a mother, and to kind of let you know that you're not alone if you're experiencing some of the same things, and really just, start conversation in the comments about what everyone's going through, and just having someone to relate to. I know that for me, that's why I wanted to start my YouTube channel in the first place, was to be able to share my experiences, and to be someone that you can rely on for answers, that you can ask me questions, and I can do the best I can to give you, my honest advice, my experience as a mother. So I've only been a mother for 2 short years. I have a 2-year-old little boy named Sebastian. I also have a 4-month-old named Matteo. And with that comes, battles and challenges and joy and laughter, and just being a mother is the greatest thing. One of the things I want to talk about is myself postpartum, and how having 2 under 2 has affected just my life on a daily basis. So I've been a stay-at-home mom for the last 2 years. My husband and I decided that I was on FMLA leave for 12 weeks after having my son, Sebastian, 2 years ago. I had him July of 2017, and we really took that time to kind of decide if we could live off of one income as a family, and what our options were when it came to, daycare, childcare, the cost of that in our area, to really have, the best that we could have for Sebastian at daycare, and if it really made sense for me to continue working, and if my salary was just going to be going towards insurance and daycare. And that's basically what it came down to for us, was that what I made monthly was going to be going into private daycare for Sebastian, and also to have a lower amount of insurance to pay for myself and Sebastian. My husband does have insurance. We are on his insurance with his employer, but it was just, kind of a give or take. And for us, we decided that what made the most sense was for me to stay home. So I got 2 years of time, about 21 months of time before Matteo came into the world. And as it got closer and closer to my due date, I started to slow down little by little, but I was still trying to be as active as I could be with Sebastian, and spending as much one-on-one time with him. And when Matteo came into the world, things changed drastically. I will, preface with, my mother-in-law is staying with us in a temporary living situation right now, and she has been incredibly helpful when it comes to making sure that Sebastian still has the attention that he needs. So I had Matteo when I was 38 weeks pregnant. He was born May 17th, 2019, and it literally went from me being everything for Sebastian, and the one-on-one time, and just being able to do everything that I can for him, just him, to now I have a newborn that is so reliant on me. I do exclusively breastfeed. This baby needed to be close to me, and I have a 2-year-old who is running around, who plays soccer, wants to play outside. And so the transition became going outside with him in the mornings and playing with him, and him going down for a nap and me resting, to I have a newborn now that needs my attention. We live in Florida. It's incredibly hot in the middle of May. I couldn't be outside and give him that attention. And that's when a lot of the mom guilt came in, where he really wanted me to be a part of the things that he was doing. And because I was recovering and I had a newborn, we were staying inside of the house. And because my mother-in-law, she wasn't working at the time and she was living with us, she is living with us, she would take him outside and allow for him to play and run off some of that energy and still give him that attention that he needs. And I still was recovering and going through, a little bit of the baby blues. My recovery was fairly quick. I did have an unmedicated vaginal birth. I'll leave the card here. I did do a video on that, but I felt like my recovery was easy in comparison to when I had Sebastian, but the transition was really difficult for us. And I think it was just difficult for me in my mind. I think Sebastian is adjusting just fine, and it's been 4 months, and he's really doing everything that he used to do. We still go outside every once in a while. Not as often, obviously, if my husband or my mother-in-law are home, they take him outside because it is still really warm here, even though it's the middle of September. But just that instant guilt of I can no longer give this child 100% of my attention and my time because I have this newborn. And I think that's probably one of the hardest things in my postpartum journey has been the mom guilt with both boys. So my recovery, I felt like, was fairly easy and quick. I have also made a video, I don't think it's going to be up before this one, but I did have to have my gallbladder removed 2 months postpartum, so I also had to recover from that. So there's been a lot that's happened in the short 4 months that my second son, Matteo, has been alive, and it's been an adjustment for Sebastian. But I think that the biggest thing mom guilt-wise is not being able to spend the same one-on-one time with him. But the same thing for Matteo. So I got Sebastian one-on-one for 2 years. I got to spend every second soaking in the newborn cuddles, the newborn stage, all of the firsts, all of the just differences that happen every day as a baby grows. They wake up and they just look different because they're going through so much as they become this little person. And with Matteo, I feel like I've missed out on that some because I don't have that one-on-one time. I do have Sebastian who needs me to make food for him, and I need to change him and play with him and give him the attention he wants. And it pulls me away from having that one-on-one time with Matteo as well. And I think that's definitely been one of the hardest things. I was going through my phone the other day trying to make more space because my iCloud is full. I've upgraded it and it's full. So I was going through some pictures and I realized that I don't have as many pictures as I do of Sebastian that I do of Matteo. Like I said, I had that one-on-one time with Sebastian, so he literally has filled my phone with thousands of pictures over the last 2 years. And with Matteo, I find myself not doing those things because my hands are full with 2 kids. And it's really hard for me, and at night I just lay here and I think, what could I have done differently? And does my child know that I love him, and know that sometimes it is hard for mommy to be needing to nurse Matteo when Sebastian also needs me and he's crying for my attention, and it's not easy. Being a mother of 2 at such young ages, I think just being a mother of 2 in general, whether you work, whether you stay home, whatever it is that works for your family, it's a transition. And I feel so incredibly blessed. I'm not complaining at all. But mom guilt is 100% real. And it's not anything that I really knew. An only child, and my mother raised me by herself. And my mom poured everything, all she had, into me. And now that I have children, I understand. But in those moments, I didn't know that mom guilt existed. I didn't think that it was a real thing. And now that I have my own children, and every day passes where I wonder if I've taken enough pictures, if I've told the kids that I love them enough, if I've hugged them enough and given them the attention and spent, as much time as I could and focused on them and not always having a gourmet meal on the table. And I think with mom guilt comes wife guilt. And I don't have as much time for my husband now because I have 2 kids. Now that I have, a 4-month-old, I have a baby again. He's constantly attached to me. He's nursing. He needs me. I burp him. I spend time with him. He's not as independent, obviously, as my 2-year-old. It's a struggle at times for me at the end of the day to even feel like I can love on my husband because I'm so touched out and all I want to do is really just rest and relax and sleep. I was blessed with Matteo being a star sleeper. The first couple of months are always very long, but the last probably 2.5 to 3 months, he's been sleeping well through the night. We're not up but maybe once, and it's just still a transition as a mother to get back to sleeping and not constantly waking up to use the bathroom or to check on your kids. And so it's hard. I don't want to say it's hard, it's just a challenge. And with each day comes something different, and the mom guilt has been really heavy on me, and that's why I think I'm focusing so much in this video on the mom guilt. And all of the things that come with postpartum when you're healing, and I'm back into breastfeeding again, and experiencing the hormonal shifts that happen, and really accepting a new body again, and trying to figure out who Chelsea is as a mom of 2 and as a wife and as a woman. It changes when this new factor is kind of not thrown into your life. We chose to have children and they were planned and all of that, but it's still something new. And so when that something new happens, it's a great addition, but this addition also comes with adjustments. And with Matteo sleeping in our room and his bassinet for the last 3 months or so, it's a transition where before we would put Sebastian to sleep in his room and we would come in here and we would lay down and turn on the TV and we would talk and we'd get ready for bed and just kind of like talk about our days and what's going on. And when it was time for Matteo to go down to sleep, it was generally when we were ready to come down to sleep too. So there's a sound machine and a nightlight, and we lay down, and if the TV's off, it's he sleeps restlessly, so we can't have the TV on, and we don't want to be out in the living room making too much noise for the toddler that's across the way. And there's just a lot that comes with that. And so nurturing my relationships with my kids but also with my husband has been a big adjustment for me as well. And the transition that happens when you have more than one child is just a different day to day for us. And I have days where I just want to scream and cry, and I want to be able to share those with you guys on these mom talk Mondays, and really just let you know that you're not alone, and that all of this is very real, and all of your emotions are valid, and you're allowed to feel overwhelmed, and your house doesn't have to look perfect. I have laundry right here that has been done for 2 days that I haven't folded yet, and I'm wondering why I'm running out of burp cloths. They're right there and they're clean. It's just finding time. My house isn't perfect, and there isn't always a meal on the table when my husband gets home, and we figure out last minute, are we going out? Is it going to be, a fast dinner? Did Sebastian have waffles for breakfast because I didn't have time to make him eggs? There's just a lot that goes into being a mom, and I'm starting to accept, and I want to tell you that it's okay that your house isn't clean, that you haven't showered in a couple of days, that you're not making a gourmet meal every day, that you have quick meals for your kids because that's what's convenient, that you're wearing the same clothes you wore 2 days ago. All of those things as a mom postpartum, those things are okay. And there's an adjustment period, and it's going to be okay. And I'm telling you this, but I'm also telling myself this because I deal with this every day too. That being a mom is the greatest thing that I have ever experienced in my life. And I cannot wait to experience it more when we choose to have more children. And it is also one of the most challenging, and it comes with a lot of responsibility and sometimes what feels like burden. And I want to challenge you, and I get to challenge myself for this week to shift out of that. And instead of thinking that things are hard, to think that it's a challenge and it's something that you can overcome. And finding new ways to be organized and new systems on, well, how do I get the house to be clean? Do I clean a room a day when the kids are napping, or do I rest? And I think that there are some days that we can just sit and we can relax and not have anything that we need to be doing while the kids sleep. And like, my boys are both napping right now and I'm recording. And you know, tomorrow maybe when they're napping, I won't. Maybe I will just lay here and put on a TV show or edit a video or do something, just put music on and meditate. And I think that another thing that I get to work on personally is my self-care as a woman. Before I was anything, before I was Ivan's wife, before I was Sebastian and Matteo's mother, I was Chelsea. I was a woman, and I get to make sure that I'm not pouring from an empty cup. And I think that over the last 2 years, I've become a hermit where I stay home all day. And that's just easier, and it keeps us in our schedule than what could happen if we go out. Will Sebastian have a tantrum? Is Matteo going to need to breastfeed in the middle of grocery shopping? Are they going to need to be changed and have a blowout? And now I've got 2. And being overprotective when it comes to being very aware of my surroundings when I'm out with my kids, I think that it just is easier for us to stay home, and I get to shift out of that mind frame as well, and I get to experience things with my kids, and they're not going to be this small for very long, and I'm very blessed to be able to stay home with them. And so I want to take advantage of the fact that I get to be home with them and take advantage of this age that they're at and the growth that comes with being a mom of 2, under 2, or 2 and under, and the growth that comes with the transitions that are happening in our lives. Basically, I've just been rambling. For the last little bit, but I really just, though I want these videos to have topics when it comes to the Mom Talk Mondays, this was just kind of me getting out what I was feeling for the day. And I think mom guilt was a big one in the transition of becoming a mom, whether it's a mom to 1, 2, or 5, or however many kids. I think that we think it gets easier with each child, and for some it does, and for me it's definitely been an adjustment. I wouldn't change it for the world, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, thanks so much for watching this video. Please make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload. I'd love for you to be a part of the fam and follow my journey here on YouTube. Also, please leave a comment if there's any topics you'd like for me to address in Mom Talk Mondays. Again, this is my first Mom Talk Monday series, so hopefully my next few videos on Mom Talk Monday will be a little bit more organized or more focused and driven on one topic. But again, comment below whatever topics you'd like for me to address, and we'll see you next time. Bye.